Ishtiaq Ahmad, interesting to hear what the US president was saying about Pakistan. What do you make of that?
What the election candidates, can say during the election campaign is different, but when you come to power, one has to be quite pragmatic. And obviously, the United States in the last 3-4 years has had problems with Pakistan because somehow Pakistani administration could not meet US expectations in terms of tackling this insurgency of Taliban in Pakistan's border areas, and especially its linkage with Afghanistan. And the government in Afghanistan also has complained. But somehow I think in the past 1 year of the current government in Pakistan, not only cooperation between Afghanistan and Pakistan has increased, but also the American complaints have somehow subsided.
But let's be serious about this. If the United States really wants to achieve its objectives in Pakistan and destroy what it calls the Taliban and Al-Qaeda elements within Pakistan in places like Quetta, in other parts of Waziristan, it will have to get into Pakistan. Pakistan will have to sacrifice its sovereignty to some extent. Is that ever likely to happen?
Not necessarily. Already, the intervention is already on, as you know, that in the last few months, the drone attacks into South and North Waziristan agencies of the tribal belt, they have increased, and that has created problem for the current government here. I think the only thing that Pakistani security forces are lacking in the areas is that they do not have this experience of counter-insurgency warfare. And I believe that the Pentagon has broader plan to train Pakistani security forces. What was lacking in the Musharraf regime in Pakistan was the real commitment to fight this war. And I think in the last 2 years, we must understand that given the severity of the terrorism challenge in Pakistan itself and the kind of momentum that security operation has gained, I think there are avenues whereby old problems in Pak-US relations can be removed. What I want to stress here is that we must understand that Richard Holbrooke has a very historic career in diplomacy in terms of resolving conflicts. I understand that the challenges in South Asia or in this region, particularly Pakistan's tribal belt and Afghanistan, which have seen 30 years of warfare and equal period of centuries being used in this region. Challenges are really great, but you really needed a focus and you really needed a forceful person like Holbrooke to be appointed here.
Whatever the relationship is, isn't there an argument that as the relationship gets stronger between Pakistan and the United States, whether it's diplomatic, whether it's military, or as we saw previously with President Musharraf of Pakistan and President Bush of the United States on that so-called war on terror, as that relationship gets stronger, Pakistan only faces further backlash from its own people?
Again, I think I can dispute that argument in a sense that there are already excitement here, even in the public domain, about Obama administration's new outlook on US conduct in world affairs, the disbanding of the Guantanamo Bay, and other some of the signals that we are receiving here. So we cannot apply the same logic which we could apply to the Bush administration's new conservative outlook to the new shape that US policy is taking vis-a-vis this region. And I believe that although there seems to be a bit of a contradiction, that a troop surge on the pattern of Iraq to be applied in Afghanistan's case, and yet you have a democratic-led United States which should prefer, because of its neoliberal legacy, the exercise of non-military options in Afghanistan and other warring regions in the world. I think that the reason we are having this troop surge is because the war on terror in Afghanistan was diverted into Iraq in the year 2003, and the Obama administration believes that the insurgency of Taliban that has gained momentum in the region is because of the neglect of the Afghan project. Now, if you apply the military instrument with a higher momentum in the next few months or a year or so, I think the ultimate objective behind that is that the forces of insurgency which are fighting the Americans, the NATO or Pakistanis, should come to the table and negotiate the term of the agreement on the basis of the state interests in the region.
Okay, Ishtiaq Ahmad, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us live from Islamabad.